Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the Adams Mystery Podcast. Adams Mystery Playhouse is Colorado's only full-time mystery dinner theater. I'm your co-host, Nick Guida, and with me today, for a change, my partner in crime, Marn Wills Cuellar. How are you today, Marn?
Woohoo! Yeah,
Woohoo.
I can't even say words anymore, Nick. I'm reduced to sound effects.
Well, get ready for some more unbelievable news. We've done it again, set a trend with our podcast. Apparently, the word is that giant marble fish statue sales are up 75% this year.
Seriously.
Yeah, although on the flip side, this is the bad news. Fife and drum duo bookings have dried up. Thanks to us, people have no more faith. Can you believe that? They have no faith in fife and drum duo.
And Nick, you were giving me kind of a hard time about the fife and drum and the fact that we didn't have it. And I said, but you know what my motto is? Just say yes.
That is true, I'd say. But Marn, they want a Mongolian nose flute player. Just say yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on to today's episode. Who is our guest today?
Well, our guest today is Joshua Rudesill. Joshua, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Woohoo! Like I said.
You know, that's a difficult name, Marn. How
Yeah.
are you able to remember how to pronounce it?
Rudesill? Well, it's very easy. I just think of people who are snotty when you go to buy something. They're Rudesill. Although I think your wife says something different than that, doesn't she, Joshua?
Oh, yeah. She's got a more adult version of it. She says, I'm rude as hell.
Well,
But she chose to take the name, so, that's on her, too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did she hyphenate it?
No. She just straight
No.
up took it.
I don't know. I think I would have gone for a hyphen. But no offense, Josh. No offense.
yeah, like if her maiden name was Buddy, she could be Buddy hyphen rude as hell.
Why, buddy? That one. I don't know. You're gonna have to explain that joke to me.
Well, if you have to explain them, they're not funny, right?
I know, and I was gonna mention that behind your back.
Well, I have a question for Joshua, and I've had so much fun working with you, and we didn't get very much chance to work together until the COVID started, but we'll be back again, and it's going to be fun again. I remember you saying, because I said something to you about why did you or how did you find us or why did you look for us, and you said something about your family told you that you should get into dinner theater. Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah, you are. It was actually my mom that said that I should get into dinner theater. I did musicals all growing up and through college, so it seemed like a pretty good fit. So when I got to Colorado, I moved from California after living there for 3 years, and we got up to Colorado. I started looking for dinner theaters around. I actually sent a few messages to a few of them, and you guys were the only one to respond.
Yeah, well, that just shows how good we are.
Yeah, right? Professional.
Yeah, very, very professional. But it's been fun to have you. The other little story that I want to say, and I don't know why this cracked me up so much, but when we do the kid shows, the performers all have to set out the chairs. It's not just star, you walk in and, oh my goodness, you're on the stage and everyone's adoring you. And so we put together the clue packets and we set out the chairs. And you were over there just whistling and moving the chair mover around and 10 stacks of 10 chairs. And I said, well, thank you for your good attitude. And do you remember what you said?
Oh, yeah. I've been setting up chairs and taking down chairs for all my life at church. My dad was a pastor, so every day all the kids would get roped in and tear down, set up chairs. So I think I've stacked thousands and thousands of chairs in my life.
Well, you're a professional at it. We also need to get you, since you've done musical theater, we need to get you to sing. Why don't you sing a bar of something for us?
Yeah, let's not put him on the spot, Martin. Whatever we do.
I don't think I've ever heard you sing, have I?
Yeah, I thought you heard me sing when I came into audition.
Oh, that's right. You do some of the old, not cronies. What are those called? Crooners?
One of the old cronies. I think are you thinking of the word crooner?
Crooners, the old crooner songs. Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
What did you sing at the audition? Oh, not Black Magic. You sang
No,
something
it was,
from Sinatra, right? Or
Somewhere Over the Sea. Bobby
Oh,
Darin.
that's it.
Bobby
pretty good.
Darin was probably my favorite old crony. Yeah, but after that audition and we started asking you to be in shows, it seems to me that every time we asked you to be in a show, it was a different show.
Yeah, there was one where I had, I think it was 3 different scripts in 1 week, which was pretty fun.
Mhm. Which is not uncommon. You
Oh, no.
missed in the olden days, and this happened more than once. But Marn would find somebody, and we were usually stuck. The call would be like 5:30 or 6, and she'd be on the phone with them at 4:30, telling them the script over the phone. And then you come in the show, and then you say, she would like be,
Oh my gosh.
she would be giving people their part, and they wouldn't even well the scripts. Don't worry about the script. I'll just tell you how it goes. And she would like go through the whole show, and she'd be doing like all the voices.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
and then they would show up and do the show.
Yeah. Well,
That's magical.
and Nick, part of that was desperation, because somebody would either call in sick, or we would be so busy that it'd be like, oh my gosh, we don't have enough people. And then I'd run into somebody in the grocery store and say, oh my gosh, you could do this. You seem like you could be an actor. If they had any personality at all. And then I could get them on the phone and talk them through the show. When people audition for the murder mysteries, and you probably remember this, Joshua, first we do a little reading from the script, and then we do a little improv to see if people can think on their feet. And then I ask people, do you have any special talents? Are you a dancer? Are you a singer? And that's probably when you said, yes, I am going to sing Under the Sea and stuff like that. I'll never forget when I auditioned Tina Phillips, and she's down in Florida now and did some mysteries down there through us, which was fun. And I asked her, what do you have any other special talents? And she said, well, I can make my eyeballs pop out.
Oh.
But it was just kind of rolling her eyes really fast. And
Gotcha.
well, that's a heck of a talent. That's very unique.
That's absolutely true. When Marn, as long as I've known Marn, whenever anyone comes in, it was more. Now it's more. Can you sing? I think mostly when they audition for shows. But in the old days, it was, do you have any unique talents? And I don't remember if this person pitched it to Marn or Marn pitched it to this person. But it was decided in the cheat sheet bits, she would come up with this bit where she would utilize her kickboxing. And I was like, anyway, I'm not in the room, but I could hear it. And it was and you could hear her out there going, hi. And it went on. And I'm like, what in the heck? And it was sort of, that's all you heard. You didn't really hear anything else. You didn't hear any laughter. You didn't hear, and then it ended, and there was kind of, I think there was applause. I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh. Was there any lead into that?
I don't know.
Was
I
it
just it was only it was the only time she ever did it, and I don't know if
hilarious.
I played a part in it. I don't know if I said to Marn, we can never let that happen again, or I don't remember exactly, but it never did happen again.
Hey, now Joshua, when you did that outside gig at the Lutheran church, there was an interesting cheat sheet bit, wasn't there?
Oh, there was an interesting moment during that. So essentially, we get, I want to say, about a third way through the show. We haven't even gotten to the intermission yet. And I can't remember, I can't recall the actress's name. But essentially, one of us starts doing the confession, the end of show confession, at about 35 minutes, maybe 30 minutes in to the show. And I don't actually know how no one in the audience caught that it was the confession, because she literally said, okay, I admit it. I did it. I poisoned his drink when I went to the hallway, and we're all standing there on stage next door just going, what do we do? Oh, that's how you're incriminating yourself a little bit, aren't you? And we just kind of moved on past it. The most shocking bit is only about 5 people at the end guessed that she was the murderer, even though she outright confessed to doing it about 20 minutes into the show. I'm always shocked when people don't realize what has gone wrong, because, from an actor's perspective, it seems like it's just the most obvious thing when things go wrong.
I think
And
part
then the audience is just like, oh, that was a great show. Thanks so much, guys. Oh, you're hilarious.
I think part of it, I think for us, and why people like what we do so much. I think part of the reason people don't realize anything went wrong in our shows is because of we ad lib so much, and we play on the mistakes to the point of people sometimes think maybe that's intentional. It was part of the script. So I think that's why people don't pick up on that stuff, because of the style of our show. I think people think that was part of it.
Well, what they don't know can't hurt them. So that's. I'm gonna tell you guys two funny stories of what I think is funny. The look on your face, Joshua, when I said, now you're going to be doing the Amazing Alexander, but tonight it's a different detective, and you just went, what? And I said, yeah, but you'll be fine. And of course they do it differently, but and you did a great job. But just the look on your face of like, here, I got this down, I'm good to go, and now it's a different detective and a different situation.
Changing it up on me.
Yeah, and then the look on Nick's face when Nick goes, I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't have anybody to play. What's the character's name, Nick? Melvin? No.
Melvin.
Yeah, Melvin. I don't have anybody to play Melvin. And I said, I think Joshua can do it. And Nick goes, and he goes, the new guy?
I'm pretty sure that was over the phone, so I don't think I made that face.
Yeah, but I know you well enough to know when you go, what your face is probably looking like. But anyway, yeah, and I said, no, I think he can do it. He'll learn the script. He likes scripts. As a matter of fact, that first show you did with us, Joshua, I think was kind of hard because wasn't that Mystery in the Toy Shop, and something happened where we weren't sticking to the script? We usually stick to the script in the kid shows, but something weird happened.
It was something like we had two different versions of the same script floating around. That
old problem.
Yeah.
That has happened. No, that's happened on more than one occasion where somebody has an old script and it's like, why are they saying that? Well, there you have it. And another exciting exchange with our guest of the day. Moving on to another one of our favorite segments, which of course is the mini mystery. So let's start with the solution to last episode's mini mystery, Death Backstage. Why was Professor Fordney sure it was not a suicide? If you will remember, according to the policeman, Sergeant Reynolds, there were no fingerprints on the gun which killed Claudia Mason. She could not have shot herself in the temple and then wiped off the revolver. Crying out loud, the murderer neglected to get her fingerprints on the gun. And now, let's move on to this episode's mystery, Murder in the Swamp. And so the cast today will be Marn is the narrator, Bob will be played by Joshua, and I will be Professor Fordney. So here we go with Murder in the Swamp. We'd better walk along the edge,
said Professor Fordney as he and Bob started down the only path leading through the swamp.
I never thought of that. I was on the porch when Barton left. 10 minutes later, I heard a shot. I ran down the path and found him about 500 yards from the house, bleeding terribly from a wound in the head. I dashed back for the first aid kit and bandaged him as best as I could, but he died shortly afterwards. And then I returned and telephoned you.
Reaching the body of Barton, Bob explained,
I turned him over so I could dress his head.
He must have been shot from over there because those 3 sets of footprints are yours, and the other one's Barton's. Let's look in that underbrush. Here's where the murderer must have stood, yes. See those powder marks on those leaves? Oh,
While removing the branch, Fordney cut his finger.
Better sterilize that, Professor.
Back at the cottage, as the professor was about to pick up mercurochrome bottle from the kit Bob had used, he observed a spot of blood on the label. Walking over to the basin, he saw Bob in the mirror above it furtively slip a pair of scissors into the kit. Turning slowly around, the professor said,
I'll have to hold you on suspicion of murder. There you go. Why is Fordney so sure that Bob is the murderer? I don't know. Let's wait until the next episode to find out. But that will wrap it up for today. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Joshua, Marn.
Thank you.
Woohoo! And remember, just say yes.
Exactly. Just say yes to the next podcast from Adams Mystery Playhouse.